Mongolia is one of the most sparsely populated countries on Earth, and it includes the Gobi Desert, an expanse that covers almost the entire southern part of the country. My goal is to run more than 1,300 miles across the Gobi Desert. This will be one of the most difficult challenges I've ever taken on. The Gobi Desert is a desert like no other. You have grasslands, jagged rock mountains, massive sand dunes, and voracious insects, all tied together into this mixed bag of mystery and unpredictability. I'm Zahab. I'm an adventurer and ultramarathon runner. I run thousands of miles in the most extreme environments on Earth to experience the world in a completely unique way. These are stories from the edge of the Earth. I started running late in my life. I quit a pack a day, 2 pack a day, smoking habit, and running for me was a tool for learning about myself. After my first major expedition where I ran 7,500 kilometers across the Sahara, I realized that in 111 days I'd learned about a culture, situations such as the water crisis in Africa. I may have picked up a magazine and read about it, but it wouldn't have been so experiential for me. So when you're out here in these places and you're running and you're experiencing, it's not a quick drive-by in a car where there's a fleeting glimpse or fleeting eye contact with someone. You're there and you're going to stop and you're going to talk to someone who's out there in the middle of the same place that you are. All right, let's get in. It's the middle of the night. We've arrived at Genghis Khan Airport in Ulaanbaatar, the capital of Mongolia, and our gear is everywhere. Most people have never heard of Ulaanbaatar, the capital of Mongolia, situated in a very remote part of the world. It is the capital of one of the fastest growing economies on Earth. What strikes you the most as you're walking the streets of Ulaanbaatar is the mix of old and new. You've got traditional Buddhist temples, traditional dwellings mixed in with skyscrapers, and modern stores and brands that even 10 years ago were non-existent in this place. While in Ulaanbaatar preparing for the expedition, we are able to catch up with the current Minister of the Environment. She's able to enlighten us to some of the things that are going on in the Gobi Desert from an environmental perspective.
As you know, it's Mongolia environmentally is also very interesting. Actually, Mongolia, because of the climatic conditions, because of the locations and weather and everything else, we're 3 times more warmed up than the average, and that's causing desertification, pasture degradation.
Mongolia is warming up at a rate 3 times faster than the average planet temperature rise. This is where we are heading, to a desert that is becoming even hotter and less hospitable to human beings.
For hundreds of years, Mongolians have learned how to live in harmony with the nature, how to protect the nature, and how to, Mongolians worship nature, so because you're directly dependent on pastures, natures, and everything, there's a good tradition of protecting nature.
You know, the boost in the economy caused by the rapid spread of mining has changed the desert landscape at a rapid pace. While new industry is great for the economy, it's also left many effects that raise questions for the future of the culture. With minimal help from a support team, I'm attempting to run almost 2 marathons a day for over a month in order to experience this culture and the desert that is changing so much. I've dedicated the last year of my life training to run across the Gobi Desert. And the thought crosses my mind, what if I don't make it? Is this the end of the trail for me? Okay, everybody, on the road we go. We are leaving Ulaanbaatar and starting our 2-day drive to the start of the run, Bear Lake in the far northeast grasslands of Mongolia. Seems like the longest drive of my life, I'm already experiencing the vastness of the landscape. This is the furthest that I've had to travel before starting an expedition. Days in vehicles to get out here. It's a long way. Yeah. It's very remote where we are. Since running the Sahara, this will be the longest distance for me on an expedition. So, lots of challenges ahead. We wake up on day 2, and my running partner's leg is badly injured. While we are focusing on our run, the crew is up ahead with a whole different set of problems.
20 kilometers.
And then at the end of the 20 kilometers, what do you do without
What's that town that's there?
We just used our last can of gas, and we're not sure where the next town is to get more. While my friend Bob tries to figure this out with Saul, our local logistics lead, we keep running. It is becoming more apparent that my running partner's leg is not holding up, and sadly, he would decide to leave the expedition.
Now Ray's out there by himself, and he's trained for the last year for this. He's put his heart and soul into this, and to do it with a partner, and now he's facing in day 3 doing it by himself, and I can't even imagine where his mind's going, where it's going right now.
Running solo over 40 miles a day for the next month would be the furthest I've ever run alone, and I'm in one of the largest deserts on Earth. There are so many unknowns ahead.